Well, here at the London Stadium, we've just seen West Ham eke out a point against Chelsea as 0-0s go. Stephen Kelly, it was a really entertaining game of football and a lot to take from it. If we talk about West Ham first, that's 4 points from 6 under Manuel Pellegrini after a shocking start to the season. He's getting hold of these players now, isn't he?
He is, yeah, hugely important for them. You know, the win last week was fantastic, but then to come here today at home with their home fans, the London derby against a team like Chelsea, who are unbeaten so far, that's going to give them a huge bit of confidence, and to do it without Arnautovic, who's such a big player for them. So that is, all in all, it's been a great day's work for them. 0-0 at home against Chelsea is giving them a good platform to build on now.
Let's get straight to the elephant in the room every time we're talking about West Ham, and it's the presence of Declan Rice in that West Ham midfield. Another stomach-churningly solid and effective performance from him again today. And it's his Irish situation is never far from our minds when we're watching him play like that.
No, it's like I said, we were joking about it, saying Robbie, we should stop complimenting because you want him to come back. But it was just effective, effortlessly effective. I think today he kind of kept, it was calm, wasn't overly exerted, but he just kind of, that position he picked up in front of the back four, so important. I remember at Fulham, Danny Murphy and Dixon too used to do it fantastically well for us, and he just seems to seamlessly just slot in there and cause teams an issue where they won't want to pick a pass. But he was comfortable. He didn't look out of his depth. He looks like he's got a very calm head and a young shoulder. So yeah, it's like I said, it's always going to be on the tip of our tongue, and they're talking about it in the press now because he's a player that's playing every week in the Premiership and playing well. So you know, we want him, and it's, can we have him? I mean, if he performs like that and he performs well, probably not, to be honest.
Yeah, the problem is if Gareth Southgate has already been talking to him or his representatives, I mean, if the player you might compare him to at the moment who's getting regular game time for England is Eric Dier, and he's only 19, Declan Rice. He's not that far away from being a better footballer than Eric Dier.
And I think he's probably physically a better athlete than what Dier is. Like I saw him once there, him making ground up on Hazard. Obviously Hazard was running at the ball, but he caught up with him and put a great tackle in down the side of the pitch, and you're kind of thinking, you know, he's got a bit of athleticism about him as well, which Dier doesn't have that strong to his bow. But it's his desire, you know. I think that's what's going to come down to. And there's been a lot said about it. You know, would you want him in the team? He's going to be back in the team.
You know, what are your thoughts on him? Because obviously we do a lot of work with the likes of Kevin and Keith, and Kevin in particular has been fairly strident in his opinion on the situation. Would you be as adamant as someone like Kevin that you just really wouldn't want him back again, or like Kevin would said, if there would want to be a very good explanation backing up his decision to return?
I think if you're, whatever that's gone on between two countries, if you're choosing between England and Ireland, I think you're either Irish or you're not. I think if you want to play for Ireland, you do. For me, the desire and passion, you know, is it insulting towards other players if you choose not to come back, or if you're waiting to make your mind up? I think it is. For me, I've been so passionately playing for my country. I love it. It's been the highlight of my career. I've played.
You're born and raised in Dublin, though, to Irish parents. Like, Declan is in such a different situation. It's not easy to compare.
No, he is in a different situation, and again, he has ties in both camps. But I think you want passionate people, and you want people that are going to give everything. And I think he would, and he's young as well, so it's difficult. But yeah, I know it's such a hard thing to call for him, because if you were in his position, then what would you do? You've already played for him though, so I would think surely your loyalty's got to be with us. The fact that we've given him an opportunity to play on the international stage already, you would think that that's enough to say, okay, they came in for me when they wanted me before England. I know our resources aren't as good, our pool to dip into is not as good as England's, but we did come in from at a young age, and we gave him his international debut, like I said, at 19, and that's stuff that he should probably take with him, and hopefully still play for us.
Well, without wishing to be disrespectful to the likes of yourself, like, football's a fickle game. Footballers can be a fickle bunch. You know, if Declan Rice comes back in and helps Ireland win big games, I think anyone who may have had an issue with his dallying over his international future now would forget about it pretty quickly.
Completely forgotten about it. Like, football is so, like, look, we were talking about Gary Cahill there. He was in the press this week saying how he wants to leave Chelsea basically in this. He could play the next 10 games and there'd be no more talk about that because he's happy playing in the team again. That's football for you. Things change in an instant. And if he does come back in and do well for Ireland, you know, the times he's doing well, there'll be nothing said about it. The times things are gone bad, that's when it'll be brought up. And that's just what footballers have to deal with.
Let's have a word on Chelsea before we leave you, Stephen. They're West Ham the first side to take any points off them. It wasn't a poor performance, but just maybe lacking cutting edge against a really stubborn, well organised Manuel Pellegrini West Ham team. Is that a worry for Chelsea going forward, or will they take that as a pretty solid point in a London derby? Yeah,
I think they'd be disappointed because they would have came in this full of confidence, 5 games in, 5 wins, and a West Ham team that haven't been doing that well. But West Ham were, after the first 15-20 minutes, they came to grips with them, they narrowed up and they caused they stopped them playing those balls into Hazard, Willian, Giroud, who was turning and setting things up. But I think Chelsea will, for other teams looking at it, they're going to think, right, this is how you can play against Chelsea and stop them from performing. And they probably need to go away from here and look and think, do we have another side to us? Because in the second half, Hazard was in it, but not as much as you'd like to get him into the game, and that would be a worry for them because he is such a focal point. In the first half, almost everything they did well, he was involved in it, and you need to be getting him in the ball in the areas that he can threaten teams. So they need to probably go back and have a look and see what we need to do to change that, whether they can get someone to got pace. And Kante, is that role for him getting forward in positions. He had some good opportunities, got himself in the box. Is he going to be a natural goal scorer for them? Is that the side of his game that he does? Listen, he's a very good player, but will that be the one that gets him the goal when they need to from breaking from midfield? And it's going to be all to see.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, Stephen. Thanks a million.
Thank you very much.